Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm going to be talking about my first gimbal, the DJI Ronin RSC2. So I've been doing video work for the past couple years. However, I never really had a gimbal. I mostly just started off using the Steadicam Merlin 2 and just the old neck strap and holding it out to stabilize method. I never really felt the need for a gimbal, but it definitely would have been a nice to have. And when I was looking for a gimbal, I was deciding kind of between the DJI RSC2 or the Weebill S. Both of these options have been highly recommended by a lot of people online. However, I ended up going with the RSC2 primarily because of the larger grip and better ergonomics on the gimbal. And since I was going to be using this primarily for work, I wanted it to be just no hassle and I didn't want to worry too much about it, even if it was a little bit bigger. There's definitely a lot of camera movements that you just cannot achieve without a gimbal. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about them and how the RSC2 has affected my video workflow. Some shots you just can't really get without a gimbal include a long walkthrough and speed ramp, the 360 barrel roll, steady low and high shots, and smooth longer focal length shots as well. This makes it easier to capture a variety of shots that you might not be able to get without the gimbal, and I think that's just a huge plus. Talking about stabilization in post, most of the times I wouldn't really even have to use warp stabilizer, which is really great because it speeds up my workflow and it just uses overall less computing power. Previously, I used to shoot at 60 frames per second because I would always be worried whether or not the footage would have been usable at 100% speed. So in slowing it down, I would try to use the slower footage to extend over a longer period of time, making it look smoother. With the gimbal, I found it very easy to confidently shoot at my 1:1 speed. And in shooting 1:1, if I'm shooting in an area with more low light where I can't really have those control of the lighting conditions, then I can also drop my shutter speed down about 1/60th rather than 1/25th for that natural looking motion blur. And this means that I can let in about a stop of more light, which is always handy. In terms of balancing the gimbal, it takes about the same time to balance the gimbal as it does for my old video stabilizer. And both can collapse, making it easier for transportation with those settings saved. So when you arrive on site, it wouldn't take as long to set up. However, I did feel ready and quicker to go on the gimbal and found it convenient that there was a little tripod so I could set down my camera somewhere. And in addition to that, it's just a lot easier to change your focal length in a pinch if you are using a zoom lens. One of the handiest features with the RSC2, I found at least, is that you can actually adjust manual focus and focus rack from the grip. And you do this through focus by wire through the electronic focus, which you can assign to the front wheel on the grip of the RSC2. This makes focus racking between different subjects in one shot much more seamless than if I was using a video stabilizer, and being able to change my focus without even touching the camera while I'm shooting. Alongside that, having the media controls of starting and stopping your recording and controlling your different camera settings from the gimbal is also really handy. This allows me to record clips a lot quicker, and it doesn't have that little awkward beginning bit where I'm fumbling with the camera or the ending bit where I'm trying to stop my recording. One last thing I will mention with the gimbal is that you overall just look a lot more professional with it. I think most people have already seen the results of the ultra smooth gimbal footage, and it's not something you can easily beat with a manual stabilizer in a lot of those moving shots. It's not really to say that you couldn't get similar results with a video stabilizer and some care, but it just kind of frees up my mind to focus on other things when I don't have to worry as much about whether or not my footage is actually stable. I'd love to know if you guys have a gimbal or are thinking of getting a gimbal, and which gimbal did you guys end up deciding to get? One last thought I forgot to mention with the Ronin RCS2 is that it actually folds down, kind of like this. When you're operating it, you can also hold it as an underslung mode. So in underslung mode, it actually folds down like this. This would be really handy if you were going to take a shot that was really low to the ground and you had to bring it up. However, I haven't actually used the underslung mode too much yet. I'm sure it'll come useful in some cases, but for the majority of shooting, I just kept it in the normal form. Overall, this is just my first thoughts. If you guys like this video or found it helpful, please hit the thumbs up button down below. I'm going to be releasing some test footage of the RSC2 and my Canon EOS R over the next couple of weeks. And if that's something you might be interested in, then be sure to also hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a video. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I will see you guys in next week's video. Bye.